All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to tackle a topic that can seriously change the way you work: automation. We're going to build your very first AI powered workflow. And trust me, it's going to turn a super tedious task into something that just happens on its own.
No, really, just think about it for a second. What if all those little things that chip away at your day, the constant copy pasting, pulling reports, all those daily check ins, what if they could just run on autopilot while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, or better yet, while you're finally focusing on the work that actually matters?
And look, this isn't some far off sci fi stuff. We're talking about real, practical automations that you can set up. Imagine having an AI that handles basic customer questions overnight. Or picture your social media calendar just filling itself up. What about getting a custom news briefing summarized just for you, waiting in your inbox every single morning? This is the kind of thing we're talking about. It's totally possible.
But let's be honest, we've all heard the buzz around automation and AI, and for a lot of us, it just sounds complicated, like it's something reserved for developers and big tech companies.
The second you start looking into it, you just hit this wall of jargon, right? People are talking about APIs and servers and Python scripts. It can feel completely out of reach if you're not a coder. And that is the exact barrier that we are going to smash through today.
So allow me to introduce you to the hero of our story today, a tool called N8N. And really, the absolute best way to get your head around it is to think of it as a box of digital Legos for all the apps you already use. Okay, so the official definition is that N8N is an open source automation tool. Basically, it acts like a universal translator, or a bridge, that lets all your different apps and services talk to each other and get stuff done automatically. And here's the most important part: you do not need to write a single line of code. Yeah, let's just forget that technical definition for a minute. The digital Legos idea is all you need. You've got a box of bricks, right? Some are blue, some are red, some are connectors, some are wheels. With N8N, you visually click and connect these bricks, which are just your apps, like Gmail or Google Sheets, to build a workflow. It's all drag and drop. It's that simple.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but a box of Legos can have hundreds of pieces. That still sounds overwhelming. And you're right. N8 has hundreds of these little bricks, or nodes, as they're officially called. But here's the secret. You only need to understand 4 core types to solve like 80% of any problem you can think of. It really boils down to just this. You've got 4 main parts. First, you have triggers. That's your big go button. It decides when the whole thing starts. Then you have the AI agents. Those are the brains of the operation. You have connectors, which are like the hands and feet, reaching out and interacting with other apps. And finally, you have data processing nodes. Think of them as the organizer, just tidying up information as it moves along. So in pretty much any workflow you build, you'll see a mix of these. And you'll notice connectors are usually the biggest piece of the pie. That totally makes sense, right? Because they're how your workflow does stuff in the real world. Sending that email, updating that spreadsheet. It's all about how these pieces work together in a sequence. Okay, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and see how these blocks actually snap together to build something real and, well, pretty cool. Right now, we are going to build a personal AI news assistant. It's going to go out, find the latest industry news, summarize it for us, and then email it to us every single morning. Here's our game plan, our blueprint. It's a really straightforward 6-step recipe. We'll set a daily alarm clock, basically. Then we'll go grab the news from a couple of different places, tidy it all up, smush it together, let an AI do its thing, and then send ourselves the final email. Simple. First things first, the go button. We use a super simple schedule node, which is a type of trigger, and we just tell it, hey, run this every single day at 8 a.m. That's it. That's the kickoff that tells the rest of the workflow, all right, time to wake up and get to work. Okay, next we need our raw materials, the news articles. For this, we'll use a really powerful node called an HTTP request. This lets us ask online news services, like Gnews and News API, hey, can you give me the latest articles about AI? This node is kind of like a Swiss Army knife. It lets you talk to almost any service on the web through something called an API. And if you've ever heard that word API and your brain just kind of glazed over, this analogy is perfect. It's just like a waiter in a restaurant. You don't just wander into the kitchen and start making your own food, right? No, you give your order, your request to the waiter. The waiter is the API. They take your order to the kitchen, and then they bring back exactly what you asked for, the data. It's as simple as that. But we hit our first little snag.
When the data comes back from our two different news restaurants, it's all messy and structured differently. You can see G News calls the headline title, but News API has a totally different name for it. It's a bit of a jumble. If we just threw this messy pile at our AI, it would get really confused. So this is where we get to be a little clever and play organizer. We use an edit fields node to basically relabel everything and tidy it up so all the data is in one clean, consistent format. Then we use a merge node to combine both lists into one single, beautiful master list of news articles for our AI. Now for the magic. We take that perfectly organized list of news and we hand it over to an AI agent node. And we give it a really simple instruction, a prompt, something like, hey, you're an expert news assistant. Please summarize these articles for me. The AI then reads through everything and spits out a nice, concise summary for us. And finally, the payoff. The very last Lego brick in our chain is a Gmail node. It takes that awesome summary from the AI, pops it into a brand new email with a nice clean subject line, and sends it straight to our inbox. And just like that, the entire process, from start to finish, is completely automated. It just works. So building that one workflow is fantastic, right? But what's really powerful is that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Once you get the hang of these basic building blocks, you can start looking at all the other boring, repetitive tasks in your day and see them for what they are, potential automations waiting to be built.
And the best part is, you don't even have to start from a blank page every time. N8N has this massive library of pre-built templates for all sorts of things: sales, marketing, content, you name it. You can even just ask an AI, like Gemini, to help you design a custom workflow. You just describe what you want in plain English, and it'll help you build it.
And when I say a massive library, I'm not kidding. That number right there, that's over 2,000 free pre-built workflows that are ready for you to use right now. Just think about that. You can probably find a template for almost anything you can imagine, click a button to install it, connect your accounts, and have a powerful automation up and running in minutes. So there you have it. We've pulled back the curtain on automation, we've broken it down into a few simple building blocks, and we've built our first AI assistant together. You now have the fundamental tools and, more importantly, the right way to think about them. So the only real question left is, what are you going to automate first? Thanks for watching.